Hi everyone, I'm Sohini and I welcome you back to the Mindfully Curious. Um, Last week we learned about intention and intention setting versus goal setting, which is a very important hack in order to make sure that you're not stressing yourself out at the very beginning of your day. But today we are going to be going one step further to try and make sure that besides planning your day, you are also able to address unplanned stress triggers, um, and you're able to navigate your way through while getting to know yourself better. I know that sounds good, right? It's not really very difficult, but yes, I will tell you at the very beginning, whatever I'm going to suggest today is going to need a little bit of practice and consistency on your part. I'm sure if you're tuned into this channel and you're finding anything at all that is useful uh, regarding whatever is at the time bringing to the table, you will be game to at least try something out, something that doesn't take much of your time. So for today's, you can say exercises or hacks, you will need a journal and a pen. So you see, I have my pen and journal ready. Now this is a journal that I use. It's a very pretty one. I have like a dozen of them. I've been using them for 2 years. You'll find them in Star Mark if you're interested, or you can use any journal that you have. Do make sure you have a pen. You can use colored pens as well. I like this one. It's a very simple one. So what I do first thing is, in order to understand yourself better in terms of how you can arrest negative thought patterns or anything that doesn't work well with you, that causes you stress, you need to first identify what causes you stress. Now, that is different for different people. Like, what makes you happy will not make another person happy, probably. What makes you stressed will not be something that works in that specific way for other people either. So, the first step that I'd show you is that, and this is something that you can do in between your day. Like if you divide your day in terms of say the first half, post lunch, say evening. So if you have a tendency of, say, looking at organizing your goals, which I have mentioned before, don't set goals, set intentions. It gives you a creative space to navigate through difficult unplanned situations. At the same time, when you're looking at parts of your days, that is, say, the morning or the first half and post lunch, what you can do is, after every part, that is, for instance, after the first half, just before you move into your lunch break, take like 5 minutes, sit down and list out your charger and your stressor. So if you see, I've just made two columns. Like, you can just draw a column and you can just put a date and you can mention what is it that made you happy. So charger is about what makes you happy, what makes you passionate about something that you enjoy doing, something that gives you enthusiasm and thus a lot of energy to get things done. And stressor is something that takes you on that tangent into the negative thought pattern. So stressor will be ideally something that you've had a bad experience with last time. Maybe it's unresolved trauma that you're reacting to, or something of an idea or concept or conditioning that you're working with, which you're not even aware that you're reacting to something that way. Stressors are never rational. They are just something that is meant to, that is taken up, you can say, as a cue by your mind to protect you from similar bad experiences that happened before. So if you're looking at the stressor element, you can think of examples such as, say, a call from your boss. So suppose at some point earlier in your career, you've had a bad experience when your boss called at a particular time, or when there are some even silly things which doesn't make sense. Like, for instance, your boss has been calling you 2 to 3 times, probably because there's something important, but your mind will presume that it's something bad, because last time something like this happened, it was something bad and not something good, right? And then what happens is, your mind will automatically recreate those negative negative thoughts and those imagined, you can landscape of worst case scenarios, and your body will start reacting in a way as if you are actually caught in that situation. Mind you, you haven't even found out what it is that your boss was calling you about, but you're already there. Your body is reacting to that stress. And this happens all the time. This happens during exams, during things which we tell ourselves matter to us a lot. We start reacting to these kind of small things, and reacting in ways in which we don't always feel like we are in control. Whereas when it comes to a charger, it's like a message from someone you love, someone you had a crush on, or maybe some mentor or somebody you've been expecting a call or a message from, or maybe some company which is sending you an email where you had applied or you wanted a job. So all of these little things which are the charges and stressors, if you map them out over a span of not less than 10 days like this in a journal, what happens is patterns emerge of stress triggers and charger triggers. And inevitably, if you're generally the person who gets stressed very often, you'll see that your stress triggers are more, you're able to remember them more than your triggers. So once you identify these patterns and these triggers, the next step will be to address them, to actually arrest the thought pattern right at the level of the trigger. Now that is the most difficult part. That is the most difficult part. Difficult, why? Because when your body is convinced that you are moving into a space where there is a threat to you in any way, which is what your mind does when it creates that element of stress in your body, the reaction to stress in your body, that's because it's preparing your body for flight or fright, right? So when you are in that state, a lot of people will tell you that grounding techniques that help you calm down are effective. Yes, they are, but for that you need to have some element of control over your mind so that you're able to bring your body into that space. And breathing, as much as breathing exercises help you do that, but it doesn't always work for everyone. So what I would ask you to do is to consider that when there are negative thought patterns which have a certain amount of impact in terms of stress on your body, there must be equivalent positive emotions or thoughts which can bring you back into a positive frame of mind. So over here, the frame of mind becomes very important. Why? Because if you're in a positive frame of mind, it is likely that you can convince your mind to calm down a little bit, so that, and your body, and calming your body down through breathing exercises would actually then work to bring your mind into alignment. But if you're in a negative state of mind and your body is in a very stressed situation and your mind is convinced that there's a threat, it is very difficult to convince your mind at that point of time to calm down in alignment with your body. So the alignment part is something that's very difficult to achieve. With practice, you of course can, but most of us who are not exactly meditators would find it difficult to get there. So the first thing I would suggest is that whenever you actually identify the stressors, so you have identified them on paper, that means you're conscious, you've brought that stressor into consciousness. The next time that stressor arises in your mind, or you see, or you become mindful that you're starting to react to that stressor, or that stressor actually happened, that is the moment when you try to bring your focus back to one of the chargers, one of the potential chargers which would have something of an equivalent force or impact on you, and you bring your focus back there so that you can leap into a positive frame of mind first. Now this is only the first step. Getting into that positive frame of mind does not mean that you have calmed down inside. No, you've just tricked your mind into not thinking negative. So your body, the physiological reactions are pretty much the same, but there is a chance for you to then step into a place of deeper calm by practicing breathing exercises after you're in a positive frame of mind, after you aren't feeling the kind of the kind of negative feelings which which bring your energy level down. So we all need our energy level to be working in an optimal way if we are to actually perform at work, if we are able to navigate through life in a way in which we are utilizing our full potential. So in order to bring your energy levels up, this is just a trick by which you can bring your mind to focus on the charger rather than the stressor, and right after that you can practice grounding in order to bring yourself into a state of equilibrium. Now, regarding grounding techniques, I'll make a separate video next week, which is a follow up to this one, so do tune in. If you have any questions to do with this particular video or its content, please feel free to comment in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. You can also write to me at sohinijana7@gmail.com. That's my email ID. I will also put it in the description box below. Reach out to me, engage with me, and please, please, please like, subscribe, and share if you find this content useful. If you benefit from it, someone else might as well. And someone might just be in need of this right now. So take care of yourself. I'll see you next week, and I look forward to connecting with you again. Bye.